We are presenting today the Institute of Holistic Health co-founder Paul Croto, who Dr. Wallach is also a co-founder. But we are going to bring Paul on with us today. From a young age, he was very much into sports. He was into health. He even went to school to be a trainer and was even a trainer at a big franchise around the United States. And then, decided it wasn't quite what he wanted to do, or he wasn't making quite as much money as he was hoping to make. He got a master's of nutrition or a master's in nutrition, I should say, and found the network marketing platform was the way to go at being able to share information with others, and not just information, but information that is beneficial and helpful in everyday life. And through network marketing, Paul, you've been pretty successful. And now, after seeing that there was something missing within the longevity training, put together the Institute of Holistic Health, which I'm excited to be the Director of Student Services of as well. So Paul, tell us a little bit about why you and Cheryl and Dr. Wallach created the Institute of Holistic Health.
Well, I love you, Becca, and thank you so much for having me on today. I'm super honored to be on this. This is the first time in, I think, history that Dr. Wallach's on and listening to me speak, because I've spent my last 30 years listening to him. So this is a little bit of a change, but it's the knowledge I've gained from Dr. Wallach that totally changed my life. As you mentioned, I did get my master's degree in nutrition, and while I was getting my degree, I was in the Marines first after high school, and then got out, went to college, got my master's degree in nutrition. And while I was getting that, I got this audio cassette in the mail called Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And I listened to it and I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I called the number on the tape and talked to a gentleman who described how this all worked. And I wanted to order some of these minerals. I took them and I was hooked. I always was kind of like tired in my life. Like I was young and I should have all this energy and I didn't, I just felt like I was struggling throughout the day. And when I started drinking the 60 essential minerals, I felt amazing. Like it just was I was sure that there was like caffeine in this or some kind of, drug that made you have more energy, but there wasn't. It's just my body was severely lacking minerals like everybody else's body in the world. So I was hooked. The product was amazing. I started giving out this audio tape and I dedicated my entire life to spreading Dr. Wallach's message. So I've so much enjoyed, I feel so blessed being part of his life and learning so much from him. And Cheryl also was on the road with Dr. Wallach for 5 years straight. She was the first person in longevity. She got this whole thing going with Doc. It was the two of them. So my hat's off to both of them for really being those pioneers. You hear about, the Daniel Boone stories of carving the path and going where no one else has ever gone. But that was Cheryl and Dr. Wallach together that did that and built longevity. So then I jumped in a little bit later after that. But Cheryl and I both got to spend, as I mentioned, tremendous amount of time with Dr. Wallach. We learned so much from him, as you have over the past years of working with him. And what we realized after working with people is that we're very privileged. Not everyone gets to spend time with Dr. Wallach like we do. So I'm like, when I had a very serious talk with Dr. Wallach, and I remember speaking in front of a huge audience to 5,000-6,000 people and talking about how Dr. Wallach created this crusade and we have to, carry out Dr. Wallach's legacy about, really helping people become healthier. And Dr. Wallach actually afterwards thanked me for saying all those kind of words, but he also reminded me that he isn't just doing this to get people healthy. He's also, he could have opened Dr. Wallach stores in every mall in the whole world and sold these minerals and this 90 for life out of those stores, but he didn't. He knew that network marketing was the best vehicle out there because, as we talk about in the Institute of Holistic Health, it's the whole wheel. We came up with this thing called the holistic wheel, where you have to have every area of your life healthy to have health. And Dr. Wallach was the person who understood that if your finances are not healthy, then you can't be healthy. You know, there's so much stress in this world, especially right now with finances. People are struggling, and that stress from finances becomes emotional stress. That emotional stress ends up showing up in your body. And, you know, Dr. Wallach always says that you can't out-supplement a bad diet. I say you can't out-supplement bad emotions. You know, these emotions are so bad out there that people are getting sick from that. And it really doesn't even matter how much nutrition we give to them. If we don't fix that financial problem in their life, then it's hard to make them healthy. So, you know, Dr. Wallach was really on this crusade to create and I remember him saying this to me, 20 years ago about creating this army of people and paying them a ridiculous amount of money to spread his message around the world. And that just stuck with me. And I was like, we have to help Dr. Wallach create this army, you know, and with talking with people in longevity, even people that were here 17 years, 20 years, they didn't really understand his philosophy or the way his brain works. And granted, it is advanced. I mean, no one is going to completely, I'm sure he forgets more in a day than I'll ever know. But I wanted to sit down with him and say, listen, Doc, can we somehow turn your brain into a computer program? You know, where I remember being at this meeting he did. I was at hundreds of them, but one of them, that the person was sitting there and they said, at the end, he allows for questions and answers. And the person said, I have high blood pressure. How do I fix that, Doc? And Dr. Wallach said, well, does your knee hurt? Like, does your knee hurt? Why in the world would he ask if your knee hurts? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. This guy is crazy, but I didn't understand how he connects the dots and finds out which nutrient this person really needs and what area of health this person needs to focus on. So once I learned it, I was like, wow, like this is amazing. So I said, we got to turn this into a program. So we sat down and we were like, let's take everything Dr. Wallach taught us and put it into a course so we can build this army of people and spread Dr. Wallach's message around the world, and then before, I would teach you and then you would teach someone and then they would teach someone. And, how that goes. By the time it gets to the eighth person, the whole message gets skewed, So we wanted to have one central location where all the information was at. People could plug into it real easily and then really become certified. I think people that they go through life and maybe they didn't, they went through high school and they got some friends and in college and stuff, but no one really ever respected them. And what we're seeing now is that, here's a guy, Joe, who really didn't do much in his life or, is struggling a little bit. He takes the course, gets certified. His friends and family are like, hey, thank God Joe's actually doing something with his life now. And now he's certified. So the friends and family and people in society look at Joe differently now because he has the piece of paper. And probably more importantly, Joe looks at himself differently. Now I have done something in life. I became certified. I'm somebody now. And I can go out and Becca, we talk about this all the time about having, not just success in life, but fulfillment. And, I've had lots of success. The money's great, but the fulfillment of helping other human beings that were struggling, and I know your story is absolutely incredible where you were struggling and met Dr. Wallach and heard this message and it completely changed your life, just like it changed hundreds of thousands of lives. So, to the fulfillment behind this is unparalleled. Tell me something else in life you could do for somebody better than this to save their life. Really, you can't, and doctors, don't get me wrong. If I get shot, if I fall off my roof, if I get hit by a semi truck, I'm going to go to the hospital. I'm going and I'm going to have a doctor take care of me. But for anything else out there, doctors are 100% useless. They don't know how to fix anything else but, traumatic injuries. So there's a huge gap out there right now in society that's being filled at a rapid pace, which is having somebody out there who's knowledgeable that fixes the root problem. So when people come to us, they say, I have high blood pressure. That's not the problem. That's a symptom. The problem is probably missing some magnesium, probably missing some of this. You're missing the 90 essential nutrients. So we don't focus on the symptoms. We want to know what the underlying root cause is, the real problem here. Problem isn't the problem. The problem is what caused the problem. And Dr. Wallach is the foremost expert in the world at figuring out what's the real problem here. And he gets to that root cause, fixes that. The whole thing gets fixed. And not only does it get fixed and never come back again, but future problems get avoided because of his philosophy and teachings.
Well, I love the fact that you have taken all of his philosophies and teachings and put it into a course that goes through and lays it out understandably, plus puts it all in one place, that then each lesson builds upon each other. So it's more easily to remember and continue to use to help others. That's one thing that I absolutely love about the course. And then you had mentioned about, train one person, they train another person, they train another person, they train another person. Well, we've got that package, so we know that everybody is being trained with the right information now. And because it's also compliant whenever it comes to, network marketing, direct sales, being associated with a nutraceutical company. We've got different bylaws that we have to abide by, and the Institute makes sure that that is the way it's taught. So
it is, but also the necessity, people wonder why won't just longevity be the Institute? But they can't be, because you can't have the products and the information like together. So we had to create a completely separate entity over here that's actually not part of longevity whatsoever. It's its own entity in the business world. And we're no different than Harvard University. We're a college and we have our opinions on things. So by doing it this way, we can be very blunt. And people ask us all the time, well, are you accredited? Are you accredited like Harvard is? And the answer is no. We never want to be accredited, because as soon as you become accredited, you got to buy into the system and you got to start telling lies. And at least you can't tell the truth. But we didn't want to do that. We want to be like Dr. Wallach. We want to get out there and be able to tell the truth. So we built this institute. We can go out there and tell people the way it really is. And you can come here, and really, we should have called it the truth, because that's what this really is, the truth.
Oh, I agree, Paul. I wasn't hearing anything out there that I heard when I heard Dr. Wallach.
Yeah, there is nothing.
And there's a lot of information out there saying this is good for this, this is good for this, this is good for this. And you try it and you get no results.
Yeah, that's the bottom line of the results.
So, and that's one thing that I love about what you, Cheryl, and Dr. Wallach have put together, is a way that people can come in, learn about the 4 areas of health, how they're affected by nutritional deficiencies, and then also the solution. So it's a solution that a lot of other institutes or health coaching courses have completely left out. Yeah. Probably haven't forgotten it because they didn't know it in the first place, but they've left it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that the fact that we do this health evaluation in the beginning. So the health evaluation system is kind of part of the whole institute. And we have this patented process where we ask people these, I'm going to call them ridiculous questions, because we know how Dr. Wallach's brain works. And we ask these questions and they answer them. And then at the end, he actually comes up with a score. So like the weight loss industry is fantastic, because someone can get on the scale today, then take the program and then get on the scale in a month and see they lost weight. So they say it's working. The problem with health is, how do you know if it's really working? I mean, yeah, I feel better, but I'm not really sure. So we actually quantify it by taking this health evaluation. You get a score. So maybe I honestly, the funny story is when we first developed this with Dr. Wallach, my number one fear was that no one would ever buy any nutritional products or need any help from a health coach, because everyone's going to score in the 80s or 90s. But wow, we've been doing this for what, six, 7 years now. The health evaluation system's been out.
Yeah, I think the health evaluation system's been about 6.5, 7 years.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, I really wonder how people get out of bed in the morning. I mean, these scores are so bad, and it doesn't even matter. I'm giving it to like 25-year-olds and they're still scoring a 37. It's just crazy. I had a couple good scores, but really the scores are, 65 is failing, and not many people are scoring a 65 right now.
So,
So,
Paul,
yeah.
the first time I take this, based on how I was when I found Dr. Wallach before getting on the products, negative 186.
Yeah. Now,
And I couldn't roll myself out of bed.
yeah. So I'll be honest with you. I wasn't the top student in high school. But I never scored a negative 186 on any test I ever took. I mean, it's hard to get a negative number, but you're to your point, there's people out there like that are scoring, I don't even know that was mathematically possible with the way we set the scoring up, but you're not the only person that scores a negative number. It's really, and for you to turn that around with no drugs, no surgery, just saying, hey, listen, I'm going to take the holistic approach to this. And the holistic starts with a W. I'm going to look at the whole person. So we're looking at all of you, your whole life. So we're looking at your not only your body, but your mind. What's going in your mind? What thoughts are you thinking? What's going on spiritually inside of you? And I know you're a very Christian woman, so that part was solid and you had that going for you, but you needed the nutrients, you needed a better mindset, you needed the emotional support. You needed a vision in your mind of how things are going to go and better self-talk. And then as we go around, like your career, getting that going, I know finances was an issue for you back then where that weighed on you tremendously, and then when the finances weigh on you, it's hard to live a good lifestyle because you can't do the things you want to do. You want to do this and do this with your family and do that for your kids, and you can't do it and you feel bad. And then your relationships go downhill. Over half the marriages end up divorced because of finances. It isn't because of someone's bad health. Bad health's a bad thing, but it's the finances that are causing a big issue for a lot of people. So, like I said, Dr. Wallach is just as concerned about that. And I love the Bible verse, 3 John 2. It's one of my favorite ones to talk about with people, where above all things, I want your soul, I want your to be healthy and you to prosper as much as I want your soul to prosper. So, of course, God wants us all to be spiritual and prosper, spiritually, but also he wants us to be healthy and us to prosper in life. And we want to get that message out to people because you have to have, again, the whole wheel in place to have that holistic health. And what we found is that when any part of the wheel is missing, it's not going to work. But it all starts the minute you wake up is to take your 90 essential nutrients, and to get that in your body so you have that foundation to things, and then we can build off of that and do other things as well. But Becca, to your point, I love the course too. Of course, it's awesome, but I really believe over the past 3 or 4 years that we've been doing the community part of it. That's even more important because you only retain so much when you take a course. It's 65 hours long, a lot of information in there, and now that you graduated, you got to go out in the real world and help real people. And that's where, the rubber meets the road. And what I love most about the Institute is that we do these Monday get-togethers with all the coaches, and we get together and say, hey, what's going good out there? Hey, I helped this person with this person, this score went up, this happened with this person. And we can hear all these great stories. The more stories you hear and how other people helped other people in other ways, it helps the whole student base because we all learn. And this is just as much art as it is science. We go in, we pretty much know 80-90% what this person needs, but either they didn't like the taste of something or that product was too much this, too little that, whatever it may be, and we got to make adjustments as coaches. So we meet with them again and again and again, and we tweak, and but that community together is where we get to share all this information. There's so many knowledgeable people in this, doctors and naturopaths and all, and Dr. Wallach, of course, and Cheryl and everybody just together, we help all the coaches move along in their business, move along with helping other people. No other, college or institution or health certification course has that. They don't get together and talk, hey, how can we go out and really help other people? What's going on? Then we talk about challenges. What's not going so good out there? Well, I got this client. He's, he made a little bit of progress and he got stuck. or this happened or that happened. And we work through it. So we work through the challenges, make a few changes, and we meet again next week. So those classes to me are almost better than the whole course, because that's really working with the people in there's too many people in the classroom that are super smart and geniuses, but they never get out in the real world and do it, where all of our students get out there and do it, with real people. And that's what we're super proud about, and want to help people. Again, our first and foremost focus is on coaches, getting their health score to 100, getting their 8 areas of life solid, because you have to be strong to help the weak. If you're not strong yourself, you can't go out there and help people. That's why we always put growth in front of contribution. Yes, we all want to go out there and contribute, but you got to be strong first before you can go out there and contribute. So make yourself strong first. And we get our coaches strong. And when they're strong, they can go out and help the weak and bring them up. And it's just a beautiful thing when that happens.
Well, bringing health scores up is pretty incredible. Mine now is 92.
Nice.
Not negative 186, but 92. So I'm almost to 100.
Well, you look like you're 220. So, it's just so awesome seeing you. And because I saw you, when you started, and to see the transformation you've gone through is mind blowing, but we have, so many people like that had so many mind blowing transformations. And it's all because we follow the basics. We follow Dr. Wallach's teachings.
Yeah, absolutely. But you had mentioned the community. A lot of times whenever you're in business, you're by yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have people to bounce, ideas off of and get their input. And that's something I love about the Institute is the community, is we do have some very smart people, and they're contributing into the community, which just helps make all of us wiser so that we can guide people.
Yeah, not only that, but it's the moral support. You see other people succeeding and you're like, hey, wait a second. I know they put their pants on the same way I put my pants on in the morning. So if they could do it and get all these new clients and new coaches on their team and stuff, I could do it too. And then you hear stories about how they did do it and stuff. It inspires people who may be sitting in, graduated, but kind of quote unquote sitting in the back row and kind of not really jumping in with, the deep end of building their business. But then all of a sudden they get a little more certain about themselves. They see other people succeeding, and that fire catches on inside of them. They unleash that thing inside of them that we all have, the power inside to go out and really go in and start helping people. And it's beautiful to see that, that fire and that momentum building inside the community where, I'm sitting on the grass now and watching, and these other people are dancing, but I'm going to get up and dance too and be part of all this. And they start taking more action. And Cheryl and I are about massive action. I mean, that is what we're known for. And when I first started with Dr. Wallach, I was sending out 1,000 audio tapes a week. So I did 50,000 a year for 5 years. So if you got a Dead Doctors Don't Lie cassette, it's probably from me. I may have mailed you 2 or 3. But yeah, that this massive action that makes it, that makes it happen. That's how I was able to touch so many people. But, we've learned since then that throwing a lot of mud against the wall isn't always the best philosophy. So now we really worry or focus on quality. We want to really, I don't need to help, 300,000 people by myself, but I can build a team and I can help, 100 by myself, and then they can help 100, and we can build this huge community and reach hundreds of thousands of people through the Institute and creating more and more certified health coaches. We need a lot of health coaches out there, because if they really, Becca, if people don't hear this message from us, they're never going to hear it. Never going to hear it. So it's really a responsibility of ours now to go out and share this with as many people as humanly possible.
So, Paul, what type of person or personality do you think would be the perfect certified holistic health coach?
Well, it's a great question, Becca. This is a topic that I've put a lot of thought into. And as you mentioned, I'm Tony Robbins certified coach. And the reason why I did that is I got my master's degree in nutrition. And I said, if I was ever going to go out and get more education, get my PhD, it would be in psychology. Because what I learned is that I don't need to be any more smarter in nutrition. I know everything there is. I've been with Dr. Wallach. He's taught me everything there is to know about nutrition. I don't need any more nutrition knowledge. What I need to know is how to get people to be compliant, to take the supplements, to make these, what we actually get down to is identity change. So I'm the type of person who takes my supplements every single day, just who I am. I'm the type of person who exercises every single day, just who I am. I've developed this identity around myself. I'm the type of person who gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning every single day. It's just who I am. And the truth is that none of those things were true before. I wasn't that person at all. But we can do this identity shifting and get people to become that type of person, and people say, oh, I got some fat genes inside of me. I'm never going to lose weight. Well, when did you decide that? It's just all BS. It's all made up. We're making a story up in our minds. Mm-hmm. So we teach people, change your story, change your life. And we can change anyone's story. We can change anyone's life. But it really has to start with your body, getting your body right. So we've actually started something else called Elevate Your Life, where we're looking to help people out in the world take their life to the next level. Because a lot of people don't want to be certified health coaches. We're not saying this is for everybody, but if your career is something that you're not 100% satisfied with, which is 85% of the population is not satisfied with their career, and you happen to like, as you asked me the question, what type of person is this for? It's someone who loves health and wellness for sure, who loves helping people. And we all have an innate need inside of us to contribute to society. I mean, that's how God designed us all. We have this, you hear people about, they go out and they volunteer and they do different things because we have this need inside of us to contribute. So it gets you that need fulfilled. But number one, Becca, is being hungry. You look at your life and you're like, I'm a certain age and you just feel like God put me here. He gave me these talents and I don't feel like I'm living up to my potential. And a lot of people feel that way, but they don't have the hunger to change things. So if you come to us and you're like, I'm hungry, I want to change my life. I want to elevate. I want to get all areas of my life better. And I want to do that help other people do the same thing. And if you're that person, then you found your home, because that is what we are about. We're the only place on the planet that has that kind of philosophy. So our tribe is like no other tribe out there. And the people in our tribe are all hungry. They love helping other people. They understand that they got to help themselves first and get themselves strong first. So they're very much into growth. They're very much into contribution. They're very much into love and connection. We have a lot of great connection here in the community. We also, need some variety. So we keep things fun and exciting. We always want to have that going on, and really, when it comes to the end of the day, you want to know that you can pay your bills, have that security of, and in this, I can tell you that my paycheck has gone up and up and up every single month. I don't have to ever worry about my boss firing me. And people have this illusion that they're secure in their jobs. And, with things like AI coming out and cars are going to be driving themselves soon. And I know a lot of people don't believe this, but there's going to be hundreds of thousands of jobs lost in the next 5 to 10 years. And if you don't start now building something else, don't say that I didn't tell you so. There has to be it's not even a luxury anymore to have multiple streams of income. It's a need. You have to do this. And, the other thing we're very passionate about is teaching people about tax benefits of owning your own business. I feel so bad for people who have a job and don't understand the tax code that they're going through. As you can probably tell by the tone of my voice, I'm not very fond of government. They seem to waste a lot of money. I don't want to give them any of my money. And they are all bought by Big Pharma. So, and we are just to be clear, I don't want to meet, anybody be fuzzy on this. Our number one enemy is Big Pharma. They are just the mafia is jealous of Big Pharma on what they do out there. It's just criminal. Every single day, 493 people are killed by pharmaceutical drugs. Killed. It's like a whole 747 airplane going down and crashing every single day. And no one says anything about it. So it's just so corrupt. So that really fuels us to get that word out about Big Pharma and the corruption that they have. So that's a big part of it. And the government taking all of our money. I don't know, who out there follows where your money is going, but when we're donating billions of dollars to foreign countries that have nothing to do with us, where our own country is suffering and in massive debt, it'd be something if we had trillions of dollars just sitting around burning a hole in our pocket and we wanted to help other people, that's fine. But when we're trillions in debt ourselves, this is just, it's criminal. So and listen, the government, we're not doing anything illegal. We're teaching you the government, the IRS has 2 tax codes, one for normal people and one for business owners. There's 2 tax codes. And if you don't understand this, you're wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars in your life. The number one expense in your life is not health insurance, it's taxes. And if you don't learn these tax, benefits and take advantage of them, you should just join this, become a certified health coach just for the tax benefits alone of owning your own business, because it's that significant. You will make back the tuition that you pay, which is like $700, $800. You'll make that back 5-fold in the first year in just tax savings. And it's not just 1 year, it's every year for the rest of your life. So it's just awesome what we can do with helping people right off the bat save money through understanding a Schedule C and the tax benefits associated with owning your own business.
Paul, I have a lot of people that come to me and ask, well, do I have to do it as a business? Can I just go through the course and learn how to help myself?
Of course. Yeah. We absolutely encourage that. If you don't want, you can not even take the test if you don't want. And there's no time limit when you get the course. A lot of people are actually buying it now, knowing it's going into the Christmas season. But we're running a huge sale. We have Save 50 code right now where it's 50% off. So what's the link again, Becca? It's
Coach with Doc.
Coachwithdoc.com.
Yep. So if you go to coachwithdoc.com, you will get to the sign up page so that you can sign up to become a certified holistic health coach with Doc.
Yeah. And then make sure you type in Save 50, all one word, capitalize SAVE,
yep.
50, and you'll get 50% off. So it's like, I don't know, I think it's $750 or something like that. It comes down to, and we have
$749, something like that.
And I think the monthly payments, if you want to do it over 6 months, are only like $149. So $149, that's crazy. It's $5 a day. So it's super affordable right now. You become a Dr. Wallach certified health coach. Learn all of this for yourself. And like you said, Becca, we have to help ourselves first. So a lot of people take the course for themselves and for their own family, get themselves healthy. I would suggest taking the quizzes and tests. It's not super difficult. You can pass them and you could retake them if you do fail them. But you can, become certified. And whenever you want to use that certification, it's up to you. There's no pressure from us at all. But after you get yourself and your family healthy, a lot of people go on and, like I said, and when the timing's right, to build an enormous business. And we will help you every step of the way. So we don't just push you out the door of the college like every other college in the world does and say, hey, good luck. We stick with you for the rest of your life and help you build this every single week. And we have a process called Plan, Do, Review, which is our system. So we have a plan. We're going to go into the week with this plan. We're going to do that plan. We're going to execute. And then we're going to review what went good, what didn't go so good. What are we going to change next week? And we do this over and over and over and over again. And with Plan, Do, Review as a system, you can achieve anything in life. We can help you build. If you want to build a multi-million-dollar business, we can help you do that. Many people have. So with that system, anything's possible. You just got to be hungry to do it. That's the one thing. I can't make you hungry. I can, talk to you about, the amazing life you can have and the amazing life I have. And I get to travel whenever I want. I can do whatever I want, buy whatever I want, whenever I want. But I had to put the work in to do it. So if you're willing to put the work in and you're hungry enough to do it, we will get you there. But if you don't have the hunger, then that's the only thing we can't give to you.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. But for me, once I started getting that taste that there is something possible that's going to lead me to a better health journey, not just my physical health, but my emotional, my financial health. And I got the taste of it. And then I got to hear these stories of how others are overcoming things that I had been dealing with for so long. And then I started feeling those positive results as well. I couldn't stop myself from telling other people about it.
Yeah.
And with the Institute, it helps you learn how to tell other people about it without so much turning them off.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't just have in our course, it's not just all nutrition. 90% of it is, but then we talk business. Like, okay, now all there is to know about helping someone. Now, how do you actually start and run a certified holistic health coach business?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole other topic. So we go into that in grave detail in the course on how to set all that up and to get out there and start being successful. And of course, the world, especially the business world, changes all the time. So maybe some people out there don't know this, but I also own a restaurant franchise here in New York. And I wish there was some kind of Monday meeting I could go to and say, hey, last week wasn't so good sales-wise. I didn't have many clients come in. What can I do different? Or, and have like hundreds, if not thousands of people helping me, figure out changes to make or changes that they made that work for them and things I can do. So in this business, in the health coaching business, a lot of it's done online. We're doing here, this right now is online. So you need to understand these advanced tools. And I know, Becca, you've had to go through an enormous learning curve. And I love people that say, how are Paul and Becca so smart? Like they just know how to do all this Facebook stuff and Instagram stuff and YouTube stuff. And we laugh at them because, me and Becca were texting each other at like midnight on Saturday night, like going back and forth on like, hey, did you figure that out? You got that figured out? Like it's I know how to do it because I spent 18 hours making mistakes and doing it wrong. And sooner or later, you're going to figure it out, so it's that trial and error thing that, everybody's going through in business because the business world changes so fast. What worked yesterday may not even work today. So it's
Right.
constantly evolving and changing, and you got to be okay with that. That's why one of the things I teach, being a Tony Robbins coach, is the 6 human needs that I mentioned before. And so many people have this need for security. Like, I want to stay in this box and I don't want change. Like, it's the worst word in the world is change. Well, to me, my biggest fear in life is being the same person I am today, tomorrow, or being the same person today that I was yesterday. I have to change today. I have to grow. So I've made change mandatory in my life every single day. It's the number one thing I love most is change. Because change is growth. Growth is elevate. And I'm getting better and better and better. So you have to embrace this thing of change, especially in business, because it's changing all the time. There's professions now that are completely gone. And mark my words, I'm glad we're getting this on recording right now, because this health coaching industry is, not a lot of people know about it yet, but I'm telling you, it is going to explode over the next 5 to 10 years. Because of the momentum it has already. And you're not getting, like I always want to know, like, where are we at? Like, and I could not believe how new this was. Like, I thought it was, like the Institute of Holistic Health kind of came in late to the ball game, and started certifying people, but there's not many certified holistic health coaches in the world. So when I mean there's room for expansion, I'm not even joking about that. I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface yet. And a lot of people don't even know what a certified holistic health coach is. But it's growing because people are sick and tired of going to their doctor, and their doctor's not even really paying attention to them when they walk in the room. And they're like, okay, write a script out you go. And they're, they're not writing one script, they're writing 2 or 3 scripts. Mm-hmm. Now, Becca, you know this, like, how many studies have been done about taking this prescription and this prescription and this prescription together? How many studies? Approximately.
You know, 0. I was going to say, I haven't heard of any. I mean, there might be, we think this chemical has a reaction with this chemical, and it might be noted in your medical file, but you don't know until you get the wrong mix.
Yeah. Like I said, 493 people every day are killed from taking pharmaceutical drugs, not because they took the whole bottle, because they took what their doctor told them to take. Now, a lot of that is the drug interactions with each other that, and we know people back on not taking 2 or 3, they're taking 13 different prescription drugs. I mean, holy, how is that? How does anyone think that's good? And then when you put a prescription drug in your body, any prescription drug, your body now has to overcome 2 things. It's got to overcome the prescription, which is a foreign substance inside your body. And it's got to overcome the problem that it had in the beginning. And then you take 2 or 3 of these things, all of them having the acidity level of a car battery, which is killing you inside, eating you from the inside out. It's mind-boggling how people take any kind of prescription drug or vaccine or any of these things, because it's just absolutely horrifying what these things are doing to our bodies. And it's our job to educate people on this, because they watch the media, they catch these headlines and things, and they're drinking the Kool-Aid out there, and they don't understand the real truth underneath it. I mean, so there, obviously in the Fortune 500, there's 500 companies. 5 of those companies are pharmaceutical companies. Those 5 companies together, their profits are higher than the other 495 companies put together. That's corruption for you. And they just have meetings every single day, and they're literally this corrupt. They're just thinking to themselves, how do we make our stock go up today? What do we need to do? Do we need to invent a new virus? Do we need to invent a new disease? Every single day, like 7, 8, 9 new diseases or words come up with that this is a new health problem we found. Like Dr. Wallach, when he first started out, there was 900 different health problems that were known. Now I think there's 27,000 or some huge number like that. Because they just come up with new. I mean, I have clients calling me every single day saying, I just got back from the doctor. He told me I have XYZ. Like, I don't even know what that is. I have to go on Google and try to Google it and try to figure out where they got this from. But again, we don't really care what the word is, because none of that matters to us. Just tell me what's wrong. Oh, my shoulder hurts. Oh, when I'm coughing a lot, I'm doing whatever it is. Just tell me what's going on inside. And then we know what area it belongs to, and we can fix it super easily. So healing really is easy. It's not that difficult. But the pharmaceutical industry does not want you to think that. They want you to think that this is rocket science, and that the reason why you're sick is because you don't have this drug inside of you, which just saying that makes me cringe, because that is so illogical. And what the drug industry is doing is they have this, pretend you have a plant in your house, and that plant got green leaves on it, and some of the leaves are turning brown. So you're like, oh no, my plant's dying. So you go get a can of green paint, and you paint the plant green, and you say, oh, problem fixed. It's green again. No, the problem's not fixed. You're not fixing the root cause. The thing needs some water, some nutrients. But no, they cover it with paint.
Yeah, and when you cover up those symptoms, you're actually harming yourself and the plant more.
The symptoms are still there, of course. You're just, there's a reason why you have this signal coming out saying, hey, something's wrong. Beep, 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 beep. You're missing something. But no, we put some duct tape over it and say, oh, we don't want it. We don't want that signal. We don't want that alert going off inside of us that there's something wrong. So we cover it up. We take some aspirin, some whatever. And you're right. You're causing more damage, because that problem did not go away. Oh, my blood pressure is fixed. No, it's not. The number looks good, but the underlying cause is why this happened is still there, and it's eating you from the inside out.
Yeah. So, folks, if you're taking pharmaceuticals and you wonder, oh, my stomach is hurting, I'm having liver issues, I'm having kidney issues, they do include this insert with your pharmaceuticals that give you the side effects. Read it. I had so many pharmaceuticals that I was on when I started reading that insert. I'm like, yeah, I don't ever want to take this again.
Yeah.
One of the first possible side effects is death. I mean,
Yeah, the number one side effect for all these depression medications is suicide.
suicide.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to take some Prozac. I think that's a great idea. I'm suicidal already, and number one side effect is suicide. I'll take some more of it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we have some questions here. And AJ wants to know, how much do other courses cost, and can they give nutritional suggestions?
Great question, AJ. So, there's a wide range. I think we're one of the least expensive. We're not here to, we're not Harvard University. It's looking to build a $56 billion surplus, which they have right now, by gouging their students. So we're just trying to, keep the doors open and get the message out there. So ours is extremely expensive. Most courses cost, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. My master's degree cost me $125,000, and that was back in 1997. So can't even imagine what it is today to get a master's degree. But honestly, if you ask me how much of your master's degree do you use right now, I would tell you about zero is what closest number I could come up with, because it's nothing I learned in college. I mean, I learned the food pyramid, and I, learned that you get all the nutrients you need from food, which is the biggest lie in history, as Dr. Wallach teaches us. The soil out there just doesn't contain any nutrients anymore. And you look at broccoli or any type of vegetable out there, the average vegetable has 85% less nutrients in it than it did 100 years ago. And, people are eating worse now than ever before. Like, at least before, more families were sitting down and eating that dinner, and kids were, I don't care if you like your carrots or broccoli or green beans, you're going to eat them, That's not even happening these days. People are driving through drive-thrus and stuff. So as the soil has gone down and the amount of nutrients in fruits and vegetables has gone down, so also has the amount of people eating them, which is really horrific. So not that they can, right now eating fruits and vegetables is useless. You're wasting your time. There's nothing in them whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, most fruits I consider extremely harmful. Your body does not know the difference between orange juice and a Snickers bar. There's no difference. They cause the same exact insulin spike. And there's no nutrients in either one of them. So,
right.
I don't know why anyone would ever have fruit or vegetables. It's just to chew on something, I guess, but there's no nutritional value whatsoever. And God forbid if you have something that's not organic and you're putting these pesticides in your body, because that's the real, problem out there right now, is the toxification inside of our cells is killing people. This is where all the cancer is caused from, and all the health problems, because of all the pesticides that are put on these fruits and vegetables. And really with our meats, it's the hormones and the drugs. So when I say big pharma is huge, how big they are, I just mentioned that. It's not necessarily coming from humans. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're consuming an enormous amount of pharmaceutical drugs, but not anywhere near as many pharmaceutical drugs as the animals are consuming. So these farmers are just blasting their cattle and all their animals with all these different drugs to prevent this disease and that disease and that disease. And then you're eating this, animal that has just enormous amount of pharmaceutical drugs inside of them, which is now inside of you.
Yeah.
So you may not even know, now our drinking water, I just saw a huge study on our drinking water, how many pharmaceutical drugs are inside drinking water. I was like, what? So I double and triple checked it. And it's, I just talked about this morning about drinking reverse osmosis water. It's the most important thing you can do, because you have to get all this. You have to drink water. Water is essential. It's, there was a 91st essential nutrient, be water. But if you're drinking tap water, it's closest thing to sewage